The soldiers continued firing their artillery without stopping, trying to slow the monster's advance. Their captain repeatedly ordered them to keep firing because the monsters were getting closer. As the pressure increased, one soldier called for more supplies. Their ammunition was starting to run low. Seeing the situation, Mary quickly carried 3 wooden crates filled with bullets and delivered them to the soldiers. The soldiers were surprised by how quickly she responded. One of them admitted that moving those supplies alone would have taken much longer. After thanking Mary, they returned to their duties, while Mary immediately rushed off to help elsewhere. As she ran through the battlefield, Mary couldn't believe the scale of the monster attack. It was the first time she had witnessed something like this. When she looked to the side, she saw the pioneers fighting desperately against a growing number of monsters. One pioneer shouted for everyone to hold their positions. If they fell, the civilians who had not been evacuated yet would be in danger. Then Kay and Ellie suddenly rushed forward. People nearby immediately warned them that pushing deeper into the battlefield was too dangerous. But their concerns quickly faded. Kay, Ellie, and Gale moved together, cutting down monsters and forcing them back. Their performance even caught the attention of the other pioneers. One pioneer couldn't believe what he was seeing. Another commented that rookie pioneers these days were operating on a completely different level from most people. Meanwhile, a brown-haired pioneer felt frustrated. Watching newcomers outperform experienced fighters made him feel humiliated. The battle continued as the pioneers on the front line worked together to stop as many monsters as possible. While observing the battlefield, Kay noticed that the situation was more stable than he had expected. The pioneers from Radiance Corps were making a major contribution on the front line. At the same time, the other pioneers continued supporting them without leaving any openings. Because of that, Kay believed they should be able to hold the monster assault if things continued this way. But when he looked up, he noticed a much bigger problem. A giant monster was still moving toward Shining City. Although it was moving slowly, it never stopped advancing. Kay doubted that their current fighting force could stop it. He could only hope that the SS rank Colorists would return soon after dealing with Black Hand. Then something suddenly rushed straight toward him. Kay immediately sensed its presence. A powerful impact shook the area as the figure crashed into the ground, sending dust and debris into the air. When the dust settled, Kay froze. Standing directly in front of him was Sword Demon, one of Black Hand's members. Sword Demon stared at Kay and revealed that he had finally found the key. The statement left Kay stunned. At the same time, Gale immediately ordered everyone to retreat and reorganize their formation. Ellie was equally shocked. She couldn't understand why Sword Demon was there when he was usually fighting on the front line. Kay quickly prepared himself, but the others urged him to retreat. They knew they had no chance of defeating Sword Demon. In their view, fighting him without the support of a rank S colorist was no different from courting death. Because everyone's attention was focused on the front line, Sword Demon saw an opportunity. He immediately drew his sword and charged toward Kay, determined to capture him no matter what. Within moments, Sword Demon was already standing right in front of him. He was about to strike, but at the last second, Red appeared and blocked the attack. Sword Demon was clearly surprised. He had not expected Red to show up. Red simply laughed and revealed that he had already anticipated this situation. Meanwhile, Kay could only stare in shock as his teacher suddenly appeared and saved him. While blocking Sword Demon's sword, Red revealed that he had already expected Sword Demon to target Kay. However, he was still surprised because Sword Demon was making no effort to hide his killing intent. Red immediately ordered his students to leave. He promised to finish the battle quickly, and Kay's group retreated while telling him to be careful. Back on the battlefield, Sword Demon looked annoyed that Red had once again gotten in his way. Red remained calm. Filled with anger, Sword Demon pointed his sword at Red and declared that he would end everything right there. The moment Red saw the silver sword, he realized it was an ancient relic. Red admitted that he did not know where Sword Demon had obtained such a valuable weapon. Even so, he acknowledged that the sword would be troublesome to deal with. Instead of backing down, Red tightened his grip on his own sword. He remarked that it was only fitting for Sword Demon to possess such a troublesome weapon. Otherwise, the fight would be boring. As both sides prepared to fight, their auras continued to rise. Meanwhile, Kay, Gale, and Ellie moved farther away from the battlefield. Behind them, the clash between Red and Sword Demon's energy created shockwaves that sent dust and debris flying in every direction. Even while retreating, Kay remained worried about Red. Watching this, Gale began wondering who Kay really was for Red to be so concerned about him. Ellie quickly pointed out that helping Red would only make things worse. If they interfered, they would simply become a burden. Then, their movement suddenly stopped. A strange song echoed inside their heads. Confused, Kay and the others looked around, trying to find where the song was coming from. At that moment, a mysterious figure spoke. The figure was curious about why Sword Demon had suddenly abandoned everything and rushed toward Kay earlier. The mysterious person also questioned what secret was hidden behind Black Witch's barrier, considering how determined Sword Demon had been to conceal it. Moments later, the figure revealed herself. It was Twin Viper. While holding her younger sister, she admitted that she could not understand why Sword Demon had gone to such lengths to hide the barrier. In her eyes, he was nothing more than a foolish sword fanatic. Viper then turned her attention toward Kay. She wondered whether Kay was the key Sword Demon had been searching for. According to Viper, Red's desperate efforts to protect him only made that possibility seem more likely. The moment Kay saw Viper, he immediately concluded that she was a member of Black Hand. That realization filled him with fear. Gale and Ellie immediately prepared their weapons. They understood how serious the situation was. Running away was no longer an option. The only thing they could do was hold their ground against Viper. The three quickly took their battle positions. At the same time, Ellie reminded everyone that their goal was simply to survive long enough for Red to defeat Sword Demon. Viper laughed after hearing that. She mocked the idea that even someone like Red could protect them forever. Then she suddenly moved. Before anyone could react, Viper rushed straight toward Kay. Kay froze in surprise. A moment later, Viper's fist came crashing toward him. Fortunately, Kay managed to block the attack. Even so, he struggled to withstand the impact. The collision cracked the surrounding area and sent shockwaves through the air. Sweat poured down Kay's face as he desperately resisted Viper's overwhelming strength. Meanwhile, Viper appeared to be enjoying the situation. Seeing an opening, Ellie immediately rushed in from the right and warned Viper to stay away from Kay. At the same time, Gale attacked from the left. Their blades struck Viper directly. Green liquid sprayed out each time their swords cut into her body, but something immediately felt strange. Gale and Ellie realized that Viper had made no attempt to dodge. Instead, she smiled and willingly accepted every attack. Kay did not stop. He immediately threw a punch at Viper and ordered Gale and Ellie to continue attacking without pause. Kay understood that if they stopped applying pressure, Viper's wounds would recover on their own. The three continued their relentless assault. Yet Viper remained completely still and accepted every strike. The longer it continued, the more uneasy Kay became. He could not understand why Viper refused to fight back. At the same time, he remained wary of Viper's younger sister, who had not participated in the battle at all. Her presence alone was unsettling. As the attacks continued, Viper let out a disappointed sigh. She mocked their strength and called the fight boring. Then she finally decided to get serious. According to Viper, playtime was over. What none of them realized was that Viper's green substance had already attached itself to Gale and Ellie. At first, it was not enough to affect them. But a moment later, everything changed. A tremendous pressure suddenly erupted from the green substance. The liquid began forcing its way out of their bodies. Gale and Ellie immediately coughed and staggered. Green fluid poured from their mouths as their bodies trembled uncontrollably. Neither of them understood what had poisoned them. Seeing their reactions, Viper laughed arrogantly. She mocked them for believing that reckless attacks could defeat her. But according to Viper, the outcome had already been decided. Kay, Gale, and Ellie had been contaminated by her power. And in Viper's eyes, that was nothing less than a death sentence.